welcome to Boston City. We are in the middle of Boston. Right in front of me is the Boston South Station. We're heading towards downtown. That's a bus stand. See the combination of old historical heritage buildings with modern new skyscrapers all over the place. Look at how the street furniture has been placed. That's a parking meter. Look how they have treated trees so that water percolates. A fire hydrant. These are glass pyramids which lead you into the Boston South's Red Line metro station. That's the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston building. That's the South Station of Boston. Look at this art installation. Public art plays a key role in making cities beautiful. Public art on the Greenway project by Victor Marca, Buenos Aires. Remodeled coolers. How looks beautiful. We're about to enter the downtown area, which is a busy area. That's a food truck which is installing. A food truck is like a street vendor which sells food to people who are walking down the road. The Bank of America. Look at how the boats have been placed. Summer Street, Purchase Street. That's a solar powered street pointer sign. Pigeons everywhere. how the street signs of shops are now a similar pattern of bold English letters everywhere. Look at Kava, Starbucks, Chipotle, Dunkin'. Look at how the heritage buildings have been retained and how they look so beautiful. Look at the guy parking their cycle along the street. That's a person using a city bike called the Blue Express. That's a jewelry shop. Hollow sidewalk. That means it can subside, so no cars parking allowed.
That one might be easier, just where we're going. I think you're right.
Federal Street. That's the downtown area of Boston City. What's the shoe doing here? Look at the beautiful gateway entrance. Looks like some temple. Food stores. That's how work is done. With all markings. See? Excavation being done. The whole street is blocked. People are working, policemen, and they're making sure that the traffic does not get disrupted. Nice name for a building, 100 High. It's the high street and the building is 100. They made an arrangement as the construction is going on, so sidewalk arrangement has been made so that people can walk without getting on the road and being hit by vehicles. Look at the piece of architecture. The landscaping. What's that smoke coming out? That's the steam coming out from hot water released from the public sewer system. Look at that. That's a coffee shop. When I look at these glass buildings, and now when I'm wearing a jacket and I see that there's a predominant part of the year that is cold, it makes so much sense to have glass buildings and have so much thermal comfort of retaining the sun inside the buildings to make them very comfortable and warm. But just imagine taking these same to places like India and other tropical climates, and then it gives the opposite effect of that is needed. But how do you explain the trend? Because these cities are setting the standard, so everybody wants to copy that. So how do you answer that? You know, so what we need is to make Indian architecture, which is fit for the climate, cool and something that everybody wants to follow. That's the goal here. That's a nice little park with a nice little cafe. It's like a greenhouse, people sitting. That's a LEED certified building. LEED Gold 2024. How people are using these small electric powered scooters and tying them around. The streets look pothole free because they keep maintaining it. That's a tourist bus, a hop on hop off bus over there. Trolley tours. That's the post office and the courthouse building. In memory of George Thorndike Angel. The grand entry to a building. You see, if you look up these buildings, they have a different scale, but at the street level the scale is pretty human. The door sizes, the sizes of the artifacts, the street furniture, the boards, the text, it's all human scale. See, on the street side, everything looks very comfortable, nothing is overwhelming because of use of human scale as you're walking on the street. Another city tour bus, sightseeing in Boston City. This button lets you call for the signal to turn in your favor as a pedestrian. And here are foreign tourists visiting Boston. Look at that building. Now this right here is the Freedom Trail. You have to follow these brick marks, and this commemorates the story related to the freedom struggle for American independence. The street furniture is designed so that nobody can sleep. That's why it's divided. That's a small little interactive space over here. Public art, a transparent looking bus stand. A city bike station. It's full of history. Printing office of James Franklin, publisher of the New England Coat and Hair, served apprentice Benjamin Franklin. Court Street over here. There's a strong relation between people who knew the law and people who fought for freedom. Look at the Indian case. Lawyers fought for Indian freedom. Which will enter the sea and then it becomes a boat and becomes a bus. Such an interesting thing. Boston, oh, like boat tour, Boston duck tours. Boston City Hall. Central Plaza gives a nice texture to this whole place, binds it, creates a mono place. Now that's such a savior, having a map, city map in the city. That's downtown Boston for you. You see, it's the Charles River, Mystic River, and that's the land area, the north end, Beacon Hill, Chinatown, Theater District. We're just next to the City Hall, Government Center, Plaza, round building. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Federal Building, Boston City Hall, how it's engraved and the way they have written, integrated part of the street furniture, but just cutting it into the rock. That's a government building. So beautiful, how the number has been marked, how the color has been created to break from the monotony of the class. Look at the grand entranceway of the New England Telegraph and Telephone Company. Look at the street signage. That's a Target store. Look at how the branding has been done by just putting a dot, and everybody knows that's a Target store, eliminating the need of writing the name by just putting in the brand name. A nice place to sit around. We're heading towards the bridge that crosses over. This is the Cambridge Street. That's a library, a branch of the Boston Public Library. Sorry. Street furniture. Our plants have been integrated into the street. We won against cancer. Board of the cancer hospital. That's the fire department. Boston Fire Department, ready for service. An outdoor sitting space outside of a bakery and a cafe. They've demarcated space for themselves. People are sitting and enjoy the sun. Can you believe this? They are both saying cannabis delivered fast. Probably it's legal here. Scaffolding has been created to create a public pathway for people to walk, pedestrians to walk, because the main sidewalk is part of the construction. That's part of the occupational safety code. That's a work site with protection, all safety, everything is in place just to make sure that the people walking are absolutely safe. Liberty Hotel, the hospital, public art. Can you believe that's hay in the middle of the city? Oh, that it is. Sorry. And now we're gonna cross the river to go into Cambridge. Okay. Now we're crossing the river to go from the downtown main part of Boston to the place where all the universities, MIT, Harvard, etc. That's an automatic speed limit, so it reads the vehicle speed and warns them if they're crossing over the speed limit. That's a gentle nudge to make people comply with the law instead of, you know, using the stick approach. Boston for you guys. That thing is called a cycle track. Look at the street furniture. Look at how the trees are placed. Look how the street has a diagonal pathway for the cyclists. Public art combined with nice interactive space surrounded by landscaping and old buildings.